Okay, welcome for those of you who are watching online. The rest of this is going to be very stream of consciousness, so as questions arise, please throw up your hand and we'll answer them as we go. We are now detailing the program that we use called MindBody. It's got our logo right here. That's what patrons see when they log on from their side, and then they have a different launch list. But this is essentially everything we need to become familiar with, okay? So first element here, home. This is going to give us the dashboard. We can change the things that are important for us. So if something is a question that you're continually getting, let me know. Maybe we can throw that up on the dashboard. How many visits per day, how much revenue we're generating, those type of things. If that's interesting to you, we can change those elements. For right now, it's defaulted to these four. We don't have any intro offers. We had the Cyber Monday deal. Anyone remember that? What was the intro offer?
I don't know.
Oh, isn't that nice? Anyone remember the discount?
20%.
20%. Yeah, pretty steep, right? So significant discount if you were tied into social media or anyone who else was and saw the banner over the street for 3 weeks. So hopefully we reach some of the other demographics. But that was the extent of our intro offer. Admin said, you got 500 more registrations than we thought. We shouldn't push this anymore. So we stopped it there. Okay, second item, check-in. So this is what our third screen, when you come into the recreation center, doors here, I'm walking in the doors, front desk, there'll be 3 stations and then one along the side for ADA accessibility. The first two, the first one's going to be a point terminal. It's a mobile unit that we can then pick up. You guys remember going through that. Michelle, can you grab that for those who are watching online, maybe haven't seen any of it? We'll have 2 stations that are completely mobile. The first one is going to look like this, tied into a cash register. So we'll be able to take credit cards, we'll be able to take Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, and then print out a receipt either here or once we dock it back on the station, it'll come through the other printer. So we have that ability. Second station is going to be a computer terminal, and that's where essentially monitor is going to be set up. Very similar to how the desk is back there. Computer, processor. When they scan their identity through either the app or through their key tag, that picture will populate on the computer screen. And that'll be station number 2. Okay? Station 3, similar to this. Hopefully it's closer to the exit. We can wrap around, help out people when there's a long queue, and be very cutting edge like Chick-fil-A, so delicious, CRC. We are all hip and tech savvy. So embrace that ability early on. I would like patrons to see that ability and functionality and say, wow, I've never seen this anywhere else. So we want to be able to utilize that as a selling characteristic to early adopters, like I was talking to Camille, to anyone who loves technology, loves the benefits and efficiency of it, and can then spread the word. From what I understand, Springville, very tied in to their neighbors. They share information very well through word of mouth. So let's embrace that, okay? So, essentially, this is what the computer screen is going to look like. They'll come up, pull up their app, come up to the scanner that's going to be about 5 feet off of the desk. Beep, beep. Their name's going to pop up in here, and then their picture will populate along with a color around the border. And if I had a scanner attached, you could see a full functionality. But essentially it says you've got to pass, or if it blinks red, nothing's set up for you. So, at which point we do what? If it blinks red,
Help them set up.
help them set up, right? Let's find out exactly why this is red. One moment, sir. One moment, ma'am. May I ask your name? Oh, it's right here? Okay. So, Tommy, let's look into your account really quickly. I know you're probably in a hurry to get to the fitness class. And then maybe we take that opportunity to find out what membership pass they purchased. If they haven't purchased a pass, that's kind of important for us to know. We don't want them just getting easy access because they downloaded the app, right? So those are the things we'll get to the root of. Go back to full functionality. I think they missed you. All that fitness instructing got you in and out. So for those of you who missed, Charity actually jumped up while we paused the camera and started dancing.
There, now they saw it. My pen ran out.
Classic.
And I'm a glory hog.
Classic story. Okay, so this is the fitness classes for today. Anything you notice? How many classes do we have today?
No.
One thing that was awesome that Michelle did was she typed in essentially a dummy class that says all classes start when? May 24th. And that's because when you pull up the app, for those people who click on fitness classes, they're really excited. If they don't notice the calendar functionality, it's going to be in the top right of this. So you tap fitness classes. There's a little calendar for those of you with good eyesight. A little calendar right there. So when you tap that, it allows you to choose the day and then eventually see what classes are on that day at what time. So in the meantime though, this is how it populates on the app. All classes begin when?
You lost it.
Oh! Thank you. I saw a couple of like sarcastic, oh dude. This app is so impressive. So we've got all classes begin May 24th, right? But once we tap on when the facility is actually open, so we've got May, let's start 29th. So now you can see the time on, if you can't see it, you can kind of see that it's different looking, right?
Oh, it was set up already?
So these are already set up. You can't reserve on the app unless you're 7 days out. So a couple people who are really proactive, have much too much free time, have already logged into this and been like, oh, there it is, I went in that class. Hey, your app doesn't work, I can't reserve. We've had to tell them it's a 7-day lead time, okay? So, but once you tap on any one of those, Michelle's already populated the information on that class so they can find out some of the details before we even open, which is pretty nice. But then it's just as simple as book a class and book multiple. You tap that and you can sign up for an additional one. So, pretty neat. Any questions with fitness classes? Great. Child Watch. Who here's in Child Watch? Wow. So this is a really important section for you, okay? Because if for some reason somebody comes over here, shuts down Google Chrome accidentally, you've got to log back in and find your way back to the Child Watch tab, okay? It's here that we can either set people up, so you'll notice today is Friday, it shows you the date right there. We have the Child Watch times already booked in there, so you really can't book outside of that. If you do a little pop-up up here saying, what are you doing? I'm going to tell Penn, you're going to be in really big trouble. So, plus you just don't want to say, hey, we can book you at 2 o'clock, and they show up and no one's there. So, this little kind of grayish hue is the time you can use. Fridays, anyone tell me the time?
8:30 to 12.
Yep. So here's 8, goes to 12. You can book any time in there. What happens if someone shows up at 11:30? What do we do?
I don't know.
What would you expect someone to do? When do we close?
About 12.
12. So at 11:30, what are we going to say? Let's choose, raise your hand if you're in Child Watch. We'll choose yes.
No, I know I
Well,
should.
thanks for being honest. Honesty always pays off.
I guess you can watch them for like 30 minutes.
That's a great answer. Very intuitive. It makes sense to me. Oh, you close at 12? I didn't know that. Can I drop off my child for 30 minutes? Yes, you can. We're going to give you a pager. Please stay in the facility, and you need to be back by 12 o'clock. Okay? Those are the things you emphasize. But yeah, we're absolutely willing to help them out for 30 minutes. And then if they go over the 30 minutes, what do? type a little note in their account, hey, doesn't know how to tell time. Okay? So, if we wanted to go to say April 24th, look, this is already reserved and this is a pretty typical day. 8 to 12, 4 to 8, anytime in there, we can click on it and then it begins the process. Let's type in, who has a child they want to drop off?
Me.
Carly, are you in our system?
Oh.
Oops. Not spelled that way.
I tried. It wouldn't let me sign in.
Look,
There, I'm in.
Carly, let's give your info to everyone in the world. Okay, so now start time. Essentially, this is saying that we've got 5-minute increments that we can work with. So within the app, anyone who populates, let me just show you. Let me just show you. Sorry guys, I went to the store earlier today to get an iPhone to HDMI adapter and they were all sold out. Darn it. Okay, so now we go to the Child Watch menu feature. This is a load screen, looks pretty simple. We may have to explain to people that it's an actual drop-down menu, okay? So first point of emphasis. Tap on the drop-down and it gives you the options. It's got 1 hour, 2 hour, and then additional child. What do you think additional child's for? Love it, right? I try to be really intuitive when we set these things up. If it's not, let's have that discussion, okay? Don't think that we can change any functionality in here. Say, hey Penn, I'm getting a lot of people confused with this. Is there a way we can rethink how we're branding this second hour or something along those lines? I want to empower you to come to us and make the change that makes sense for us, okay? But essentially, you tap on that one hour child watch, brings you to the load screen, and it gives you the times. 8 to 12, 8 to 12 for the next day. Let's tap on it. Okay, now we come to start time, and I know you can't see it too well back there, but essentially gives us 5-minute increments that you can book within the app. We can do the exact same thing here online. So let's utilize it. Let's not constrain people to the hour or the 15-minute or the half hour, okay? I think this is one of the feedbacks we've gotten from neighboring recreation centers that were pigeonholing their workout into a time that shaving off maybe 10 minutes from what would be ideal, okay? So let's help them out and utilize that functionality. Now this is all defaulted to the room that it's already in, so all you really have to do is come down to book and buy. If we book, that just essentially a shortcut that doesn't take payment right then. So that's the way we would do it at the beginning, and then obviously when they pick up their child is when we want to collect money. Any questions there? Question? No question? Okay. So, Child Watch. Pretty straightforward. We're going to practice a lot of these features over the next coming weeks. But essentially wanted to give you an idea of what all of this looks like so that in your mind you can start stressing out before opening. Okay? All right. Enrollments. This is the beautiful part. Enrollments right now is just swim lessons. Eventually it's going to be a program we call Tiny Tots Sports. And then eventually we'll roll in something called summer camps. Okay? We don't really have those in place yet because we wanted to focus completely in on the very bare minimum and the things that we excel at and the things that people expect on day one. Swim lessons, because it's an aquatic facility, memberships, and then fitness classes and child watch. Okay? So that's what we're really going to focus on. We'll start adding more functionality as we go. I think that's good for session 1.